Tonight, St. Lucian health officials are on high alert about an increase in the number of flu cases, especially since the flu has killed 3 people in Martinique and left 8 in intensive care.
We have also been investigating 2 cases which are influenza related in males, 2 unusual deaths that are related to the flu.
The St. Lucia Bureau of Standards can now report definitively on the quality of cheese available on island following complaints of plastic cheese. And a former minister and a youth pastor are adding their voices to the chorus of concern following a disturbing viral video that shows a young man brandishing weapons and dancing. The details of these stories and more are coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovely and Amy Joseph.
Good evening. Welcome to the Hot 7 Nightly News on Flow Channel 117, also being simulcast on Kiss FM 105.5 and 105.9, on our website www.caribbeanhottv.com, and of course on our free mobile app. I'm Lovely St. Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. Cases of influenza are on the rise, and this is a major cause for concern for the island's epidemiology unit. The information is coming from Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Sharon Belmar-George, who says that already the number of cases of flu have surpassed that of the usual flu season of past years. Rochelle Gonzalez begins our report.
A stark warning has been issued to St. Lucians, asking them to beware of influenza after an unprecedented number of cases have been recorded over an unusually long flu season this year. This information was given during the Government Information Service talk show interview, which featured guest speaker Dr. Sharon Belmar-George. Influenza is an acute viral disease of the respiratory system, which affects mainly the throat, the nose, and sometimes the lungs. In St. Lucia currently, there are 4 strains of influenza, namely A, B, C, and D. Dr. Belmar-George said the strains which are the highest causes of concerns are strains A and B, as they are responsible for the seasonal outbreaks recorded. Recent statistics, she said, have shown some worrisome signs.
Influenza C tends to give a very mild disease, and influenza D is seen mostly in cattle and not known to affect humans. So influenza A is usually the one which we see and causes our seasonal outbreaks of flu. Usually here in St. Lucia, our flu season, which we monitor through our epidemiology unit, is between the months of October to March. And usually it peaks in December. So usually we start seeing increases in flu cases from October. And during January, February, March, the cases usually taper off and we get very few cases. But from last year, 2018, we noted that during December we saw increased cases from then, and it has continued to climb. Between week 7 and 8 of 2019, we noted that the cases have gone even above our usual threshold, both in under 5 years and over 5 years old.
According to Dr. Belmar-George, not only have the numbers grown, but the intensity of the cases has increased as well.
The flu seemed to be more intense when we review the cases that we note at our healthcare facilities. Our cases seem to be a little more intense, a little bit unusual as to what we usually see on a regular basis. So we have been putting out the alert to let persons know what we're seeing to try to curb. And we have also been investigating 2 cases which are influenza related in males, 2 unusual deaths that are related to the flu, which is quite unusual for us in St. Lucia, and more so at this time of the year.
The medical officer gave a list of telltale signs to look out for in the fight to detect and treat the disease.
The flu has a number of signs and symptoms. I think almost everybody has had the flu and they're aware. You get fever usually above 38 degrees Celsius, although there are cases where you can have the flu without fever. It gives you the sore throat, the cough. With the flu, it's usually a dry, persistent cough. And many persons, and even this year, have noted that the cough tends to persist even after they seem to have recovered. It gives muscle pains, body pains, the general feeling of malaise and weakness, as well. The watery eyes, the runny nose, as per usual with the flu. We also notice usually in the below 5 years, more in children, there's an aspect of gastro as well, where persons may get diarrhea and vomiting with it, although we see this mostly in children.
Dr. Belmar George said the groups of people more susceptible to getting complications from the disease are children below the age of 5 years, more so below the age of 2 years, persons 65 years and above, pregnant women, and persons with compromised immune systems, example persons with cancer, persons with chronic diseases including diabetes, lung, liver and or heart disease, and COPD. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I'm Rochelle Gonzalez.
Thank you very much, Rochelle. Amidst recent concerns about the authenticity of cheese sold locally, the Bureau of Standards sought to conduct a survey of cheese products from selected retail outlets. Though the findings revealed the cheese to be authentic, there was also indication of unacceptable levels of yeast and mold. Solange Alfred reports.
Cheese lovers know that all cheeses are not created equal. Be it a firm American cheese or a sharp cheddar, consumers always feel slighted when their cheese of choice does not live up to their expectations. Of late, there have been serious concerns and complaints to the Bureau of Standards that some cheese right here in St. Lucia may be fake. The whole plastic cheese panic began to spread via social media some time ago. However, Director of the Bureau of Standards, Vern Emanuel, says from the findings of recent research conducted, cheese on the St. Lucian market is in fact cheese.
We received some complaints as to the quality of cheese on the market, and we did a survey of cheese in circulation, both packaged and repackaged cheese, and we investigated the complaints, and we've now published the results of that investigation, which revealed that the cheese was authentic, but there were some issues in repackaged cheese in terms of yeast and mold.
Emmanuel says that the necessary distributors were alerted in regards to the recent findings. He adds that proper handling and storage should remain top priority for distributors and retail outlets.
The cheese met the standards, so the issues are more with regards to hygiene and how the cheese is handled. So hygiene issues can occur from processing all along the supply chain, and we basically ask that people pay due attention to handling of cheese along the supply chain.
Although the director insists that the cheese is authentic, several complaints indicate that the cheese is difficult to melt and tastes like plastic. Research shows that one reason behind cheese being difficult to melt is the fact that cheese has a low fat content. Here is some food for thought. In the age of advanced food processing, companies are now able to use a milk protein concentrate called MPC, which is milk stripped of fats, liquids, and minerals, which makes for cheaper food processing, which contributes to the plastic-like consistency and so-called fake cheese taste. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
Thank you, Solange. A former minister and a youth pastor are adding their voices to the chorus of concern following a disturbing viral video that shows a young man brandishing weapons and dancing. While police are investigating the origin of the video, concerned citizens are calling attention to the plight of youth who are turning to crime.
It seems that a collective gasp of shock is being taken by community and church leaders and the average concerned citizen due to the latest viral video possibly emanating from St. Lucia. A young man is seen dancing with 5 guns on his person. There are questions surrounding the origin of the video and whether the guns are in fact real. But nonetheless, one former minister says the video and its popularity speaks to the situation facing the youth of the country. She says they are in need of help and urgent attention to their proper social development.
In this young man, you could see whether it is a real toy guns or real guns or toy guns, something is not right with his brains. And we really have to see how our young people have gotten so lost. I mean, I engage them on the streets all the time, and somehow there's a complete lack of direction. You have some of our young people that are really focused, and I want to commend them for that and encourage them, but we have too many of our young persons that seem to need direction.
Pastor William of the Youth Power Group agrees that youth are in need of help and guidance. He believes that many are victims of peer pressure. He says the false sense of bravado is rampant among young males as they seek male bonding and male approval.
Sometimes the youth want to show up or man up, show to the people out there that they are big man, and sometimes they end up doing this kind of things to try to call their attention for themselves. We are always trying to help young people. Many people has heard about the Youth Power Group that try to help young people in the communities in many areas of their life, and we believe that the youth of St. Lucia, they are in need of help, and they are in need of more investment that could stop this kind of situation.
The Royal St. Lucia Police Force, for its part, has indicated that it is unable to comment on the video at this time.
Members of the public are being warned to zip it up or else. 4 people who were fined for indecent exposure appeared in court on Thursday. The male individuals were charged by city police for urinating in public. The city police unit warns that it will continue to enforce the law when it comes to indecent exposure. Rochelle Gonzalez tells us more.
Amid growing tensions between Castries Mayor Peterson Francis and the Police Welfare Association over powers bestowed onto Castries City Council police officers, the men and women at the center of it all are showing that they are pulling their weight. Of the numerous issues being tackled by city police is public urination.
Yesterday, we are happy to report that 4 individuals were convicted by the court for indecent exposure on Carl Crescent Street. They were fined $500 respectively. I'm letting the public know that the city police is there to adhere law and order in the city, especially the offense of indecent exposure.
Sergeant of Police attached to the City Police Department, Yoni Kamshan, urged St. Lucians to cease from urinating in public as the repercussions are high.
I'm calling on all patrons, all St. Lucians, to use the facilities that are available. There are facilities all over the place. They have in the boulevard, they have on Jeremy Street, they have on High Street, they are at the Central Market. So I'm appealing to the public, use the facilities, do not expose yourself, because the fine is stiff on indecent exposure.
The 4 men pleaded guilty to the charges and were all fined $500 or 2 months in prison. One individual did not appear in court and a bench warrant was reportedly issued for his arrest. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I'm Rochelle Gonzalez.
Thank you very much, Rochelle. This is the Hot 7 Nightly News. When we come back, a dig is being made at police officers of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force who partake in the act of moonlighting. Should the government continue to invest in jazz? And the National Workers' Union scores another win in the fight for workers' rights. These stories and more when we come back.